The shop floor at Ardent Displays and Packaging in East Hartford. Among other items, these are the people that make your pizza boxes. But in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis,
so this is the shield, totally adjustable.
The family-owned business has temporarily changed their design.
To go into the hospitals to meet with them and see them with kerchiefs wrapped around their head was mind-blowing to me.
Donald Budnick owns Ardent Displays, and son Justin is a financial planner who works with medical professionals.
And they had quickly reached out and let us know that they're already starting to run out of face shields, which was surprising.
It's a new project meant to pay it forward. The shift to make medical face shields.
Put together a prototype probably 2 days ago.
We tooled it on Monday, made samples.
And then out back, they actually own a die cutting machine, which is able to make the molds, start pressing the molds, and start printing them.
The mission is in motion here in East Hartford, and on the shop floor, the idea is to make 30,000 of these face shields each day.
So the first shipment is going to Berkshire Hospital. And I believe Hartford Hospital, Manchester Hospital, Bay State Hospital are going to be next for the donation.
These are costing us a certain amount of money, and we just committed to donating the first 10,000.
And the feeling is what they can do with simple plastic has never been more important.
We're not talking about making a ventilator. We're talking about die cutting a piece of plastic and keeping them out of harm's way. It just seemed so natural and so immediate.
In East Hartford, Jim Altman, Fox 61 News.